Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin' Reviews. Coming off of probably one of the weirdest episodes I've made. I was bored, but trust me, we'll go back to the normal stuff. Just some weird stuff happened, got bored, so yeah, we'll try not to do that again, right? So this week, aside from that, we're going to be talking about the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, and try to do this a few days ago. Got tired and stuff, kind of that same day I was trying to do the other episode. So I've been talking about Tolkien for like a long time now, like since September. I want to say, like we've been talking about it since the early September because we wanted to do the Hobbit, then the Silmarillion, and all of that stuff. So we're gonna continue that because I did talk about the Hobbit, but we're going to continue that by talking about the Peter Jackson trilogy. But I'm going to try and do it in one video. It's going to be a bit of a challenge here, but we're going to try it. So the way I'm going to do this is talk about maybe the first movie and then the second movie, third movie. But it's going to be an interesting one because there's a lot to talk about with this. So it might be over 10 minutes. So yeah, just thought I would get that out of the way, just to get into the whole thing. So, The Lord of the Rings, I'll say this. The Lord of the Rings has been a thing that I've been really, really into. It's like one of the franchises that I've always just fell in love with. It's amazing. I've enjoyed it, you know. It's written by you have a really smart guy behind it, and then you have Peter Jackson, this fan of Tolkien, coming into the project, and he just in an interview he's saying, try to bring our own baggage into this, deliver what we want, with in consideration to the guy himself, Tolkien. So you could tell Peter Jackson was really caring, and you can tell when they really did have. Like, they shot it in New Zealand and the scenery was amazing. So they're trying to encapsulate the epicness and the storytelling that came from those books. And it's really just great how Peter Jackson cared about it. And he was trying to be as faithful as he could. So there's that. But these movies, they're not 100% accurate because there is things that they take out to make it like better, so that it can appeal to a large audience. Because if you made a movie straight for book fans, only the book fans are going to understand the movie, right? So it was amazing that they decided to sort of just change things around and try and do it their own way, but not try and be unfaithful to what the original author did. And that is one key thing I think needs to be stressed here, that Peter Jackson, going into this trilogy, really, really did what he could with the project, and it is amazing that he was trying his best to be as faithful to the source material as he possibly could ever be. So, and he's the guy that's done the movies, so he brought that into it, and then he got Ian Malcolm to play Gandalf, and he got Elijah Wood to play Frodo. You had Sean Astin as Samwise Gamgee. You had the other actors playing Merry and Pippin. You had Aragorn. You had that. You had Legolas. You had all these actors come into this trilogy, and you have the soundtrack is amazing. You have all this stuff, right? That is just amazing how much care and detail they put into these movies. So, the Fellowship of the Ring, yeah, I know it's just a bit of a background there, but the Fellowship of the Ring, yeah, this is the first movie in the Peter Jackson trilogy, and this is basically the movie that sets up everything you're gonna get in those other two movies that you're waiting for. So the first movie, the Peter Jackson, the Fellowship of the Ring, is probably the best in terms of the setup and getting to the journey, and I think the extended edition kind of enhances it, where it shows you more context as to what's going on. And I've seen the extended cuts, and the extended editions, they help the movies a bit better, but the movies, you could tell they were way too long, and for a normie audience they wouldn't appeal to them as much. But it is really good, right? It's not like they're so accurate, but the Fellowship of the Ring, you have that explains the creation of the rings. It explains how Isildur got the ring off of Sauron. It explains that you got the Shire, you got the hobbits, you have the concerned hobbits with Bilbo Baggins, all of that stuff. You have a lot of good introductory stuff in here. The Fellowship of the Ring is the best for that. It just, the world building is amazing. It is it is great. It is great in every way. It is an amazing movie. I would go for scene by scene, but we're not going to be here for 2 hours, are we? So, yeah, the Fellowship of the Ring is amazing, and then you have that and the ultimate climax to Boromir's death. You have the elves, the Nazguls meet, Aragorn helping the four hobbits, just oh yeah. But just the Fellowship of the Ring actually makes me like every time I actually cannot stop it, right? Where I actually think watching watching the Fellowship of the Ring every single year just is a refresher. It's like, oh, so I've seen all this stuff in 2022, then I just watch this like, oh, it's so like whimsical and it's wholesome, and you just see Gandalf interacting with the hobbits, and the Fellowship of the Ring is just amazing, an amazing movie. So that's Fellowship of the Ring. The Two Towers, right, is basically the sequel to the Fellowship of the Ring, of course, where you have the Mount. You explore Mount Doom way more. You get more into the lore of Sauron. You get into Gollum, I should say. Gollum was in the Fellowship of the Ring, and he's in the entire trilogy. So you expand upon his storyline, and you get that contrast of the rest of the Fellowship with Gollum, Samwise Gamgee, and Frodo Baggins. So you get that contrast, and you get the Battle of Helm's Deep. The battles in this trilogy, amazing. So you get that. You absolutely get that. You get the Battle of Helm's Deep. You get that one in Return of the King. The cinematography, amazing for a 20-year-old franchise, over a 20-year-old franchise at this point. It is great to see how the cinematography is just amazing. It's high praise for me. It really is. So that's the Two Towers, right? Because you have it. You have the Golem. Like, I'm just trying to sum it up here, because yeah, I did say that doing it scene by scene, we're gonna spend way too long, meander around, So you have the Two Towers, which I've been reading again, right? I've actually been reading it right here. So here's your proof right here. I have been sort of reading it back, and yeah, it is a good book. I really don't know what one is my favourite out of the three, because I really did say that the Fellowship of the Ring has the world building, amazing world building. This one actually is better for battles, and well, it's one of the movies that are better for battles, and it has a lot more about Gollum, Sauron, the Mount Doom. But I think the third movie kind of does that more. And you obviously, like, in the second movie, if you haven't seen it, right, but it's been 20 years at this point, so you had Boromir's death, and then you had Faramir, who was his brother. You have all of that stuff, and you get Saruman as well, and then there was the troll fight in the first movie, and all that. Like those were the if you're talking about the battle action and just getting like really into battling and all that. Yeah, you have the that fight, and then you shall not pass, and the Balrog, all that stuff, and then you have all the other battles. But that is it for Two Towers and Fellowship of the Ring. It's crazy how I'm actually able to do this all in one video. But moving on, so we have the Return of the King, which is the epic finale to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, where basically you see Frodo finally overcoming his fear of going to destroy the ring in Mount Doom. He gets Sam to do it with him. You get Sam, and you have Aragorn becoming the king of this realm of Middle Earth. You have all of that. You have the amazing battle between the orcs. You have the orcs, the men. They all have this giant battle. They have a giant battle, and it's amazing. It's an amazing battle. I think this movie is amazing, and it just tips the hat, to this great content indeed. So I just think it is just an amazing old trilogy that's rewatchable. So many great scenes, so many great actors, so many great lines, and just great overall. I tried my best with this one. It is a lot to take in, it is a lot to dive into, but by the nature of the reviews, I thought I would just compact it into one video. So this is gonna be a bit of a longer review, but we had a Stranger Things one where we went on for 13 minutes. Now, I didn't expect that, but there'll be those times where I go deep diving a little bit deeper. So that's it for this review. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think. Of course, more to come. House of the Dragon episode 9 review is tomorrow. I can't wait to review that. I actually have high expectations for this show. There's 2 episodes left of that, and I can't wait for that. We're gonna dive into it. Right? We're gonna dive into it. So yeah, see you next week for potentially a Shining review, potentially, and then maybe something else, maybe House of the Dragon overall review when that show's over, maybe something like that, and then maybe we'll do another Halloween review type thing, just to end off the month and get that Halloween spirit in there, just to break away from all this fantasy, mythology, Tolkienian arc we've been going on together. So yeah, bye. Hope you enjoyed the review.